Hello everybody, and a very warm welcome back to New Age Championship. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from whatever part of the world you are joining us. It's myself, Zabi, and we are here bringing you more action from New Age Championship, of course. Season 5, Round 6. It was an eventful race back at the Dutch GP at Zandvoort. Fino took first win of the season, a different first driver to win other than Tyron this whole season. So a new winner we got, as we're here in qualifying, of course. 18 minutes of qualifying we will get, and then we'll get 36 laps of racing. 36 laps of racing here at the Brazilian GP. So just before we get started, let's have a look at the drivers' standings. So looking at this one so far, it is Tyron who still leads, of course. He's got a huge lead in that top step of that championship. 106 points to his name. 4 wins in 4 races he had, but that streak is now broken by Fino's win last time out. Then D's in P2, but only 2 points ahead of Fino in P3. Then comes Michael and Brando, the two Kickstarter drivers, with 49 and 44 points to their name. And then it's Alvaro, that should be Checo in that Mercedes in 6th place with their 38 points to their name. Then not far behind is Ian in that 7th place in the RB. Mido in 8th with 31. 2 behind Ian only, so that's going to be a nice fight for at least for 7th or 6th place in the championship. As we have drivers coming over the line, but just we have this championship out of the way, we'll get to it. So 9th place for Oliver, 22 points. Then comes Robello, that should be Cora Reeves, I believe, with 16 points in the championship. That's the top 10. Now let's move on to the other half of the grid in the championship. That is then Edward, who's in 11th place, only 4 ahead of Archie, who's in 8th as a reserve driver. Russo only 1 behind Archie in the 13th place. That is interesting, with Wiggy and Romero equal on 4 points. Then Bruno and Freddy on 2 points each as well. Then at the bottom it is Paul, Thomas and Macho with 1 point each, with Goncalo in 21st place. Not sure whether they're racing or not. 21 drivers, of course, so not every driver manages to get to the race every race, but still we have over 20 drivers, and now we already have times out on the board from these drivers. What about Brendo? Is going to be over the line? No, he won't be. What about his teammate? He is going to be over the line though. Michael to that finish line, goes fastest of them all so far, 108.490. So Fino's time, Fino is almost about a 10th down on him. Then what about his teammate, who's currently in P7? He shouldn't be coming into to complete the lap, but coming to the end of it. So that's a nice slam. Babushka, not sure how that is pronounced, but that's all I could say. Babushka, and then a couple of drivers more putting their laps in. Special goes Pete 3 at the moment. That's a decent lap from him as well. Checo P4 with Archie in P5. Then Archie in the McLaren tonight. We've seen the race in Alpine before, I believe, but as a reserve driver, of course, you've got to be changing teams, and anywhere you get to be, you have to be. That is going to be Romero, is going to be coming into the pit lane. Then Mercedes right behind is of Mido. It's not of Mido, it is of Checo. He's going to be going over the line, but of course just starting his flying lap. Are we going to see another improvement or a better lap time from Weedia there? Not from him. What about one of the Haas drivers? It's going to be Cardes beginning with his flying lap. What about one of the blue cars behind it? That is Tyron. We got onto his teammate, not him, but Tyron goes fastest so far, en route to take another pole position. He's taken 4 poles in 5 races so far this season. Can he make it his 5th one to help him get his 5th victory of the season and get back on the track of winning? We are about to find out. At the moment now, looking at this one, what about Mido? He's going to go over the line. Does he find an improvement? Yes, he does, by about 1/10, but not good enough. 109.176 only so far. What about Archie in that McLaren? It's not him, it is Cora Reeves, his teammate, who's just going to be coming over the line now, starting his flying lap. Meanwhile, at the back, one of the Alpines coming into the pit lane. What about Russo? He's going to be next car over the line. How good is this one? 109.1 of a time from him. Eston's behind as well. Are we seeing the Ferrari of D's come over the line as well? But he's not an improvement, not on a better lap. So a cool down lap from him. Meanwhile, one of the Red Bulls behind. Do they improve? No, they don't. If I was the RB, and what should have been the RB of WDR. 3/10 down on his previous lap time. What about Babushka? It's not him, it is Cardes over that finish line. No time from both the Haas drivers at the moment, and not fast at all. 1:16.1. We'll need to do another lap with Babushka. 1:11.005 in P16 at the moment. So both Haas drivers down in the bottom 5 at the moment. Of course, only one qualifying session, so we don't have drivers get out of it. Meanwhile, one of them, as Cardes, has retired out of this one and has crashed out on track just on the exit of the pit lane. So that is going to be an interesting thing. Meanwhile, Cotter Reeves is going to be the next car over the line. How good does he do? 109.4. That goes P4. So that is nicely done. Let's hope the stream and everything is running all okay. That is perfectly done, as we have the stream hopefully running all okay and good quality as well. So let me actually check one thing. One of my audios is completely full, but that is my mic completely full. All right, not sure how my mic quality is at the moment, to be fair, but just gonna adjust a little bit. So just trying to provide you guys the best action we can. What I don't want is when I'm doing the best, or completely going after it, and there's a yellow flag, but McLaren of RT getting out of the way of Cotter Reeves at the moment. So every single one of them have got a time on board, apart from one driver at the moment as it stands. That is Devon. He's a reserve driver as well, I believe, because he's raced in Haas as well, as far as I remember correctly. So that is interesting now. 19 drivers with the time, and Tyrone is the man who's still the fastest man on your screen again, as Archie got out of Cotter Reeves' way, but he's not on a flying lap. What about one of the other Alpines? That is Devon getting over the line to start his flying lap, but so are others. Who's going to be the next car over the line is going to be DJ, but he's not on a flying lap. Are we going to see a Ferrari come over the line? That is, of course, going to be of D's, but he's going to come into the pit lane as well. So most of the drivers now heading in towards the pit lane for better laps and improved lap times. Meanwhile, WDR on a cool down lap as well. What about Freddie? He has got only 2 points in this championship so far. Can he get better? Not at the moment. Who's going to be this car over the line? Might be Tyrone. No, it is Tyrone indeed. And looking after some more improvements. 107.950. Huge. I went over 4/10 ahead of the rest of the pack. So that is interesting. But Michael's got a very good lap time, don't get me wrong. I think he's got a fantastic lap time. He's done it out here, and meanwhile, Archie in that McLaren, it was not going to be on an improvement, and he has invalidated his lap on top of that. So surely we'll have to go one more time on these set of tyres. Only one lap on these soft tyres. So let me actually just test out the stream at this point to check out how things are going on. So hopefully everything is going to be all okay, but in case here and there, let's just have a look at this. Alright, so it seems fine with the audio and everything. As of course we have to keep a check and balance of keeping the audio and everything all okay. No problems at all. So at this point, looking at this one here in the qualifying session, Tyrone on pole. Meanwhile, Fino's Red Bull has it on an invalidated lap. What about his teammate Macho, who's currently in P10, is not on a flying lap as it stands then, but a couple of drivers now will be making their way over to that finish line, driving as fast as they can. Fino comes into the pit lane, not improving, but invalidated as well. So interesting, actually. I think getting it invalidated around here. I don't see any other invalidation point apart from, maybe one of the S's. You go on to the S's and then not invalidate your lap. And look at that, check already having invalidated. So surely heading towards the S and S's is possibly the one of the reasons that you end up invalidating your lap, which whoever driver we'll see as invalidated would mostly be in that first sector, because other parts around here in Brazil I don't see there is any part of the track there, you could see that, oh, it's invalidated, or it has not been a good lap. So interestingly, meanwhile, and Williams has went over the line, and that is Tyrone. He goes over the line and goes quickest. He only drives for that, as he's now going to pull further away and even more as he goes 107.738 at the moment. So that is surely job well done to Tyrone at the moment, with Fino in P3, Michael in P2 at the moment. Does he find an improvement? No, he's not on a flying lap. What about Special? He's going to be over the line. Does he look for an improvement as well? Doesn't get it. 1.6 tenths down on his time. Currently in P4, so surely needs a lot of a better lap. Meanwhile, Dees is slowing down. What about Russo? He is not slowing down. Meanwhile, drivers at the back, it's going to be Edward in P14 at the moment. Needs a minimum of a tenth to move forward. Yes, he will. Goes with P11. Push Dakota Reeves and Devon down. 109.416 at the moment. So Dees is not going to be over the line. He's going to be over the line, but invalidated lap. So again, laps getting invalidated. Interesting. So now only one lap on these tyres. That means that he's just starting his flying lap just about right now. So going up with him, Dees at the moment heading towards the Senna S, is into the first DRS, second DRS zone on track, but becomes first in qualifying, as now we're going to get to the end of that first sector. 1.3 seconds down on his lap time, so surely he's not doing something that we know of, and his battery's on 100%, so that means he's just trying to charge up his battery at the moment. What about Checo? 59 milliseconds improvement on his lap time. Just this guy doesn't completely give him a new position, but at least makes his current position a bit stronger than the previous ones at the moment. So now Michael on a flying lap as well, but 2 tenths down, so this might be the end for other drivers. Let's see though. Tyrone is of course out of the league and out of the box at the moment, doing fantastic lap times, but other drivers currently not being able to move and get better than 108. So 107.738 from Tyrone at the moment, with Michael in 108.490, then 108.593 from Fino, with 736.791 from Special and Checo. Then only not a couple of drivers, then only P1 to P2 to P7 are in the 108s. Then everybody moves down to 109s from P8 towards all the way to P16 are in P9. So that is an interesting thing, I think. Moving forward, of course, looking at different drivers and different things. So WDR should be going over the line with an improvement lap. Not with an improvement lap, but with a lap that is going to be starting just now. Meanwhile, DJ does find an improvement, but only 5 tenths, but only good enough for P18, and gets ahead of Babushka, who's also not set up a competitive time as compared to the drivers around. Are we going to see Russo go on to an improvement? No, he won't be. At least mid-9th there, almost a 10th down in that middle sector, and more than that down in that final sector as well. So not quite going good for him at all. Meanwhile, the Alpine of Romero, you would have thought, is going to be improving, and it is improving, at least in that first sector. He looks like very slow on the exit there, and surely he's very slow. And his lap time might have not been in that first sector. It would have rather been at the end of the lap, that 1.62 tenths that he improved on his previous lap. Meanwhile, Brando's going to be the next car to start his flying lap. Right behind him are a couple of drivers. That is BDR in that RP. How good is this one going to be at the moment in P15? Does he move forward? Yes, he does. A couple of positions, improves by almost 7.9 tenths, and goes P9. Into the top 10 is Devon at the moment. What about the Haas of Babushka? Hasn't been able to set up a perfect time at the moment. Goes faster, quite a lot faster than his previous time, and into P18 ahead of DJ at the moment. So now looking at this one, are we going to see Russo improve? No, 5 tenths down, over 5 tenths down on his previous lap time. Meanwhile, Romero is going to be the next car over the line, not an improvement. Reeves as well. What about Archie's P4? What a lap time from Archie there. P4 from him. Fantastic lap time at the moment. Meanwhile, others behind are going to be completing their laps as well. Trying to go faster. Trying to go find quicker times at the moment. Not from Checo, of course. Staying out on 4-lap old soft tyres. That is an interesting choice. Along with Russo and all these drivers on over 4-lap old soft tyres, I think should be coming into the pit lane anytime soon now. So possibly, I think, only reason I think would be that they are over on 4-lap older medium tires, that they just want a better tires. They just want fresher tires, for the final run, final stint of qualifying. Meanwhile, Fino goes faster, does improve by a bit, but not enough for that fastest time so far, but still goes P2 and ahead of Michael, 108.6416. That is, and that is a pretty decent time in my opinion, as we're going to see them now again be on the front row. Remember, they were on the front row back in Zandvoort as well, and they had a fantastic lap time. As they're gonna at the moment looking at Tyron out on track as well, so he's done an out lap and now will be on a flying lap that he's gonna try and improve of and get his lap times even better. So let's see how good is this one. Only a minute now remains in this qualifying session. Those on flying laps are gonna be having to back out of this one. Those not on those flying lap, and if they go over the line, they will be starting their final laps and final flying laps at the moment. Meanwhile, one of the RBs comes in the pit lane. That is special. That means their qualifying is over. They're already in the pit lane. So is Michael's qualifying. He's out of the pit lane. Interesting to see. He's out of the pit lane with 40 seconds to go. I doubt if he's going to be able to make it to the checkered flag. He's going to drive as faster as he's done to even go over the line. What about Fino? He's continuing on his lap at the moment. Others behind as well. So looking at this one, it's going to be the two Williams drivers duo. Meanwhile, Tyron is improving. His teammate DJ is on a flying lap as Brando has retired out of this one. I wonder if he's crashed or something has happened. Meanwhile, Tyron is going to be the driver over the line, and he does find another improvement. Improves once more and goes pole position. Tyron, 107.562, takes pole of the Brazilian GP. There are the drivers behind going over the line. Archie will be starting his flying lap as well. What about Michael, who has taken the checkered flag then, and qualifying is now over for Michael at the moment at least. What about Checo? He's not going to be finding an improvement. What about his teammate Mito? He is going to be finding an improvement. Goes P5, pushes his teammate down in P7. What about Mito? He doesn't improve at all. A couple of drivers have now retired out of this qualifying session. What about Macho? Who's finding an improvement? What about Fino over the line? Yes, he does find an improvement by about 1/10, but not enough for pole position. Still gonna strengthen his front row position. What about Macho? Does find a little bit of improvement, only 27 milliseconds at the moment in P9 as it stands. What about the other Williams? It should be. It is the other Williams of DJ, but he's heading into the pits straight away. That means he's not finding an improvement. What about D's the man? He's currently in P9. How good does he go over that finish line? It goes P3, and what a nice lap from him at the moment then. And that is the end of qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. But 108.466, a very good lap time, sees himself onto the second row of the grid along with Michael, just ahead of Archie and Mido on the third row, with Special and Checo on the fourth, and the fifth row on the grid is Macho and VDR. Outside is Brando, who has retired in the session, so two DNFs, two DNFs of course, but I wonder if he crashed or he retired out on track, which we don't know. And we are coming to the end of qualifying now, as we see Fino takes from that second row. I mean, Tyron is kind of out of the league, so if you compare these drivers, getting Fino out, getting Tyron out of the way, these are lap times over 7/10. He takes pole position by 107.562. Fantastic lap time from him. Fino in P2, D's in P3, Michael, Archie, Midu, Special, Checo, Macho, Weedia, Zerkis, Russo, Edward, Codereeps, Devin, Romero, Freddy, Babushka, DJ, and Cardes. Cardes retired of the session earlier on. I believe he would have crashed, so could not set up a competitive time. But the grid is set up, and we are ready to go racing here at the Brazilian GP. All the action to play for, and ready to go racing. Absolutely fantastic so far. So now going to be waiting for this one. Cars to get ready, drivers to select the perfect setups, teams to get the perfect opportunities for their drivers as it stands. So at the moment, we are just going to be setting things up and getting things ready. The drivers are up, drivers setting things up, drivers are selecting their perfect setups. We'll be back as soon as we have cars out on track and ready to go racing. And we are here then, so we're looking at another two-stop race with a hard, medium, or medium, hard in this one, which should be the case. 36 laps of racing, so surely a one-stop will be very highly unlikely in this one here. The Brazil at Sao Paulo. Then one is going to be very crucial to see how drivers perform and how good they do going into it, but they will have to take very good care of their car. So a mix of drivers then, 20 of them, and including 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 drivers only starting on a set of mediums. All other 11 on a set of hards. That is interesting to see in this one. Meanwhile, Michael and Archie are out of this formation lap. That means both of them not only will be on the hard tire, but will be starting on completely cold tires, completely ice. They'll be driving on ice, as we would look like. They'll have no grip at the race start. Of course, if you do get disqualified out of the formation lap, you do get cold temperatures. You do not get your tires warmed up or a better position to start in. And looking at this one now, so Michael, Archie on the hards along with Checo, followed by Russo, Edward and Kotarib. So that is 6 drivers, followed by Romero, Freddy, Babushka, DJ and Cardes. These are 5 drivers, so all 11 on those hard tires. And look at that, Fino, not Fino, but D's behind, has got his car facing the right hand side of the grid. What about Fino? He'll be looking to catch up to Tyrone as soon as possible, as we have the last 2 cars yet to approach the grid at the moment. Cardes moving left and right to put temperature in his tires. Couldn't do much in qualifying. Can he do it in the race? We're about to find out, as we have Fino on pole at the moment with Tyrone on pole, Fino in P2. We're about to go racing here at the Brazilian Grand Prix. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 lights are out, and we go racing at the Brazilian GP at Sao Paulo. It's a very good start for Fino then. What a fantastic start for Fino. Not a so good one from Tyrone, as heading towards turn 1. They're almost going to make contact, just exiting out of it, as D's almost now tries to go on Tyrone as well. Just has to back out of this, as Michael has lost out a couple of positions as well. He's in P4, he hasn't lost positions, and Checo and Mido, the 2 Mercedes in P5 and 6 at the moment. At the back, it's Special in P7 with Archie in P8 now. Brendo trying to go after them as well. He retired earlier on, couldn't get his final run. Then it's Russo in P10 in the final points position as it stands, as the RB of Special's going to be through and ahead of Archie as it's at the moment. Then Russo, WDR and David right outside the points, with Macho, Kotaribs and Romero in P15. Just outside are Edward, Babushka, Freddy, DJ. Meanwhile, Babushka's going to lose that place round the outside. Edward's going to be going for it, but down the inside line now. Can they go for it as well? No, they can't at the moment as it stands. DJ in P19 with Cardes in P20 at the moment. Meanwhile, the 2 Aston Martin drivers are switching up positions along with Babushka now in pressure from Edward as well. Edward's going to be on the inside line and take that so far. And look at that, exactly what we had. A repeat of a start as the Dutch GP. It was at the start that Fino took that lead from Tyrone at Zandvoort as well, but in that one Tyrone retired, so he could not get back on it. He could not get back on his day. Meanwhile, Dees is now going to be in a bit of pressure as we see things up as Tyrone has lost out the lead. Tyrone has lost out the lead already on lap 2 out of 36 at the moment from Tyrone. Let's see, can he keep up with him or come back at him anytime soon? But Fino surely looks a very competitive driver as compared to Tyrone. And now Fino, not as compared to Tyrone, but basically in comparison to Tyrone. Still needs a bit of time, but still a decent time in my opinion as it stands. So interestingly, the third place for D's at the moment, with Checo and Michael right behind him. Interesting fight could be shaping up very soon. These two could be fighting out here, because Checo definitely wants to go for that podium place. Can he though? Because now he himself is in a bit of pressure from Michael, who's 5/10 behind him. Interesting to see as it stands. Tyrone gets that fastest lap. Meanwhile, Fino's gaining on Tyrone at the moment. Can he get him on the exit of the center S's and into the second DRS zone? We yet to find out. Meanwhile, Special has got past Midu on the main straight, but what about the race leaders out here though? Tyrone's going to apply all the defensive techniques he knows, and he'll be successful in doing so at the moment at least. Meanwhile, Dees won't be successful enough in defending his position as Checo is going to be through and into third place. Meanwhile, at the back, there is WDR now, along with Midu ahead of Archie as well. So that is interesting to see a couple of drivers. Russo still in P10, and that is interesting. He is staying out there. Does he go into the back of that McLaren? That might have been just a little bit of a tap out there at the moment. Hopefully things are okay as we want them in terms of stream's point of view. So things running as okay, as cool as we want them. Just do keep me updated in the comments in case anything does go wrong. But let's have a look at this one then. D's at the moment, along with Checo in P3 and 4. These guys fighting for that third place, along with Tyrone and Fino fighting for that race lead. All is interesting. Meanwhile, Special is right behind and at the back of Michael. The two RB drivers are on fire as round the outside goes VDR on Midu. Now that DRS could be to the hands of Midu though. That'll gonna put huge pressure on VDR, and already through on VDR. That is Midu on the inside line before the braking zone at the end of that sector 1, and he's made that place. Meanwhile, Special and Michael are fighting for it side by side. They're going to be going wheel to wheel racing, as that is Special already ahead and through into P6. And okay, we've had a bit of yellow flags for drivers maybe spinning on their own, but not much with the drivers fighting or anything that, you know, is a bit of a problem. So absolutely fantastic from these drivers at the moment. Doing pretty good race, a stable race as it stands. So job well done, you have to say, to these guys so far in this one. So they've all kept it clean, kept it cool. Meanwhile, Russo could be having another opportunity. He's into P9 and he now should be in a P8 as well. Fighting, going side by side with Archie, who's got that rear wing open as well. But that's not going to be enough for that McLaren driver. Or is it going to be enough? And now WDR's going to be putting that pressure on Russo. Down the inside line he's going to go. And Russo's went so wide, almost left Sao Paulo. But he's going to be coming back on track into the center S's. But that was then Russo going around the outside, trying to go around the outside of WDR, or in fact the McLaren ahead of him, but unable to do so, and he's going to fall back quite badly, and that is going to be problems for him at the moment, as all that progress is going to be undone. He'll have to fight for that once more. Meanwhile, side by side between Brando and Devin, their side, wheel to wheel racing. Through will be Devin, and Brenda's going to go wide. He's going to go onto the grass and lose out all that progress once more. Problems are coming up for the other Sauber car. Meanwhile, this one is interesting as well at the front of the field. Do we see him having a spin? Now it is Russo again. It was Brendo earlier and it's Russo this time. So surely this part of the circuit not quite easy for the drivers to navigate through, as they find the grass sometime around and end up spinning at the moment. We're only on lap 6 out of 36, so it's a long way to go in this race. Meanwhile, Devin Romero doesn't care about that. He's going to go around the outside and make that overtake on those hard compound tires. And job well done to Romero at the moment into P12, but Brendo's going to come back at him. Another perfect opportunity will be present for him. Meanwhile, Russo and DJ are going to be in this bit of fight as well, as Russo has lost many positions after that little mistake. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, this little fight between Michael and Special is going to be on as well. So that is interestingly to say, as he's going to go a little bit wide. That might allow Michael to come back at it for him. No, he won't be able to do that, as Michael has to stay out of this one so far. Right behind Special once more. Lap 6 out of 36. Remember, it is the very early in this race, so if you have to plan your strategy, plan your patience in this race, you can now, but they do not want to do that. They're going for position, and we are absolutely loving that here on track. Meanwhile, now Fino's lost out to Tyrone. Fino's lost out over 3 seconds to Tyrone. I wonder if you made a mistake, or Tyrone has just got absolute fantastic speed as it stands. But then once more, only 1.1 second now to Checo, as well as Days hasn't been able to overtake Checo back again after that overtake from Checo. So that was a nice one. Meanwhile, Michael is in P6. That is Evil, of course. That is Mido in P7. Right behind him is Archie. That is going to be a nice fight between these drivers. We should be seeing somewhat overtakes, and we will be seeing that, as Archie's going to be going for it around the outside of Mido there. Is he going to make this move successful? They almost make contact. They do make contact. There's still going to be welterweight racing between the two, and ahead and through will be Mido. Not able to let Archie through though, but Archie's going to try and come back at him though. Surely those medium tires are going to be running out of grip, and those hard tires are going to come into effect just about right now. And round the outside, he's going to try and go for it. Both of them are going to go make contact and to have spin round as he Connor Reeves once more wanted to go side by side with Mido there and got his tires on the grass, and that is absolutely problematic, as in Romero now spun round and facing the wrong way at the track as well. So definitely that middle sector is not quite playing well between drivers. Meanwhile, Michael and Special are going at it at the top as well, along with these drivers, but they are into the pit lane along with Mido. And Fino now into the pits, goes on to a set of hards. Interesting choice from D's there, as he's went on to a set of soft tires. I would have doubted we'll see anybody use a soft tire, unless of course there's safety cars and they need to be done. Now, where does D's come out here though? Right behind, he's just ahead of Babushka at the moment. Is 2.7 seconds behind, is coming around the SNSs at the moment. Does he exit out ahead of him? Yes, he does. Nice and easy from him. But now at the front of the field in the points, that is interesting to see, as at the moment this little fight between Special and Evil is going to be going on as well, followed by WeDR, this pack of cars, WeDR, Archie, Devon and Coulter Reeves all together going for it. So definitely drivers are still keeping it on track, still keeping going, because of course a couple of elevation changes, uphill, downhill, especially downhill into turn 1 is interesting as well. But to get things on now at the back, we might see Coulter Reeves get ahead of Devon though into turn 1. Devon's going to defend the outside line, back onto the racing line now. Coulter Reeves going to try and go to the outside, not enough. That is going to be. Meanwhile, at the back, it's going to go a little bit wide. Devon's going to go super wide. He might try and come back at him. He is going to come back on the track and rejoin, maybe not in a safe way, as they're going to make contact at the back as soon as he comes back. Meanwhile, Archie might try and go for it on the inside line. Yes, he does. Can he keep the move, though, as VDR might be allowed back into the action? No, he won't. And that move is done. And into 5th place goes VDR. Fantastic job. Sorry, not VDR, but Archie does, as round the outside of, down the inside of VDR, and that overtake is done, ladies and gentlemen, as Archie moving forward and moving up the field as it stands. Meanwhile, at the back, we are looking, these guys, having this little fight between these guys, as Babushka's going to fall a little bit back, as Fino and Edward now fighting each other as well. Fino is going to have to navigate through a lot of traffic, though. He has pitted. Surely he's possibly would have tried that undercut on Tyrone. We'll see whether that works or not. Tyrone still staying out and not coming into the pit lane just yet. Meanwhile, at the front is going to be another fight, another overtaking opportunity, this time for Coulter Reeves, though. On the previous lap, his teammate overtook the Alpine. This time around, he's going to try and do it. The Alpine into turn 1. They're going to make contact, almost closing the door on Coulter Reeves there, Devon, but just outside of it. Slight little contact between the two, but doesn't do that. Meanwhile, Coda Reeves gets a 3-second time penalty. So a couple of drivers at the bottom of the field have a few penalties at the moment. So looking at this one, 6 seconds to Cardes and everything else. Everybody else has a 3-second time penalty as it stands. So only 5 drivers have pitted so far. Macho, Brando, Mido, along with Daze and Fino, have stopped in this race so far. Everybody else out, still running on the tires they started the race on, and keeping the action, keeping the performance going so far. Lap 10 out of 36, and surely these laps have passed rapidly because of these guys having the action. Meanwhile, another opportunity for Eva Michael. It's going to be, does he want to take it, or will he be going for it? Will he have enough opportunity? No, he doesn't need to go for it, as he's going to come into the pits well special. Meanwhile, Tyron is now into the pit lane. Where is Fino? That is going to be an interesting takeout here. Fino currently in P9. Is the undercut going to be coming up into effect? And absolutely brilliant, as we friggin' have dropped out because of my PlayStation giving up on us. But don't you worry, we'll be back in just a few moments. And there we go, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies about that, a bit of technical difficulties, but we should be back catching up with the action once more. Is there a safety car though? No, there isn't. And look at that, look at that, look at that little bug. I had that once before, I think one of the Hungarian GP races, not sure what league it was I was commentating on, but look at that, there is no front end of the car. There's whole front end is missing, but that is just a bug on the game, unlike it happening in actually. So let's go on board to see whether do we see the front wing from that part of the car. We don't. That is interesting to see that little bug. Is that on other cars? No, it is not. So only a few of them. Now looking at this one. Going for tyres, a couple of drivers as Dees has already done 6 laps on his soft tyres, so should be coming in any time soon. So lap 15 out of 36 at the moment as it stands. Tyrone leads the Grand Prix by over 10 seconds. Absolutely fantastic as Archie's going to come into the pit lane just now and get a 10-second time penalty, which he should be able to pay at his next stop. But actually, job well done to him then. 14 laps on these, 14 laps on these hards. He will definitely have to come once more. So a possible soft as a hard, medium, medium, or a hard, medium, hard could be the strategy out here. So most drivers have now pitted, and looking at the gaps, this one is going to be a nice one, interesting one, as Michael is going to be going for it on the inside line of Russo and making that overtake. And this is just a bug. Ladies and gentlemen, remember he should have that front wing, because even if you have the front wing, you at least have that front part of the car not missing, which is interestingly gone missing out here, and interesting to see. So just looking at this one, I think now lap 15 out of 36 as Artie now gets a 3-second time penalty as well, followed by his 10-second penalty into the pit lane, as at the front as Mido and Fino are going to be fast. So Checo and Fino should be coming up for that fight, as Fino's tires are over 7 lap older now as compared to Checo's 2 lap old mediums. Should there be a chance for Checo to go down the inside line into the center? Yes, he will. Down the inside line into turn 1, sends it on lap 16 and gets that overtake done as he moves into second place. And Jolie making his tires work. The 3 lap old hard mediums as compared to the 5 lap old hards are working wonders for Checo at the moment. But we're going to find out whether Fino could come back at him though, but not just yet. Maybe with another DRS opportunity, as Brendo is not far behind now, but Mido is not far behind him as well. Down the inside line into the end of that first sector. Is there going to be a chance for him? No. Is there going to be another opportunity for Mido to go for it? Yes, he is. One Mercedes. We're just going to be finding out. There's one Mercedes went for it earlier on. He might go for it just now. No, he doesn't, as he has to back out for a little bit there, and thinks surely it's not the opportunity to go for it right now for me, so just has to back out of it. Meanwhile, drivers at the back switching positions. The 2 teammates, Babushka and Cardays, are going for it side by side. The 2 Haas teammates, that's a little interesting action to look at as well, heading towards the first DRS zone. We can see where the Cardays goes for it on his teammate. Meanwhile, he's moving crazy. Babushka there to defend from his position around the outside. There would have been a chance for Cardays. No, both of them are fighting each other. Then Tyrone leads from 12 seconds, continues his dominance out here at Brazil, as Mido is now through and ahead of Brando. One Mercedes overtook earlier, the other does it now. Can Mido have another chance now at the Alpine of Devon ahead? Very soon, we're yet to find out though. Meanwhile, what about this little one between Michael and Special though? Michael's going to be on the inside line of Special and sending it through on the RP. This is going to be will to will. Nobody's willing to back out there. Who's going to be backing out? It will have to be Special, as he was on the inside line. Outside line to Evil, and especially outside line in that specific part of the track is more stronger than the inside line, more like the racing line. It is. Just provides you more confidence, more grip, and more traction on the exit, and helps you stay ahead and keep it to yourself there, as lap 18 out of 36 as it stands. So we're halfway through at this race at the moment as it stands. Moving forward, and That is interesting now, moving forward as it stands. Oh, that was crazy. That was a bit of a slide from Checo. That might allow Fino to come back at him. Fino's, he was overtaken by Checo on the previous laps on that for that second place, but now he's going to come back at him around the outside, heading towards the end of that first sector. They're still going to be side by side. Nobody's starting to back out of this one. Checo has the inside line, but Fino has the outside and more traction and grip on the outside and takes that place back, which belonged to him so far. But for how long is that going to be the case? We just don't know yet. Checo might come back at him very soon. Surely those tyres from Fino are going to be running out of grip as well. But I think he's going to stay out at least for 3 to 4 laps more. To possibly, you know, now he can go onto a hard tyres. Onto a set of mediums and possibly go to the end. Or to go onto a set of another hard set. Hard tyres and then see himself to the end. So yeah, he's went medium hard, so that means he can now go onto put on another set of hards and go to the end of this race. So of course it won't be a one-stop race, it will still be 2 stops. Meanwhile now there's going to be Checo once more coming back at him, heading towards turn 1. DRS gets you overtakes and DRS gets you positions. It's Checo who gets back into second place, but what about Fino? He might try and come back at him once more. Another DRS opportunity, the second DRS on the track, and very good overtaking opportunity once more to Fino this time around though. Checo's going to stay there, not go defensive on the inside line, heading towards the end of that first sector once more. They're going to be side by side and they're going to make contact, and Fino spun round and just gets his car back into control. He sends it on the inside line, makes contact with the rear of Checo with the front of his car, and that is gonna be him losing that place and position as well. I mean, he had to go for the kind of in desperation. I think he made the move nicely, stayed committed, but I think there's not enough to be, and it was Checo who did not want to back out as well. He wanted to give it everything and did not want to have problems or give problems to Checo or to Fino at all, but in the end that was a spin for him for Fino. I think you would have to say that this is a racing incident. You know, Fino trying to overtake, trying to go for that position, and in the end Checo just making contact with Checo, who was around the outside. I mean, enough space was left as well. Door was not shut, so it would need to be reviewed by the stewards though, because you know that sometimes things could go wrong. They would not how you wish. Meanwhile, Mido and Special are at it. Sorry, Mido and Devon are at it actually. 8 tenths separating the two. Meanwhile, drivers at the back. It is going to be Dees and it's not going to be Dees and it's going to be Russo and Romero in that for Alpine and Ferrari, fighting for that 13th place, and is going to head straight towards the wall. Surely he's struggling. He's absolutely struggling. Is Russo in this race? Since ever his first spun round on that grass round the outside, going for the move and doing it one more time on that curb into turn 1. It's going to have more issues in this race, so he's surely struggling and not finding it easy at all. I think surely Brazil is not an easy track in terms of if you don't have grip or enough traction on those tires, you will struggle, but I think the elevation changes are the ones, because heading towards turn 1, you're going downhill, then all straight, then the middle sector of the part, you're going uphill, downhill once more, and into the final sector, you're going uphill once more. So elevation changes and different parts of the track provide different parts or different type of challenges, and that is the reason there's been problems. Meanwhile, the two Williams teammates are there together there. That is Tyrone leading by 18 seconds over to Checo, 18.5 seconds at the moment, and at the back DJ and Brendo are together. Meanwhile, Brendo's going to try and unlap himself from that Williams of Tyrone, but can he quite do it though, as Russo is now into the pit lane straight away onto a set of another set of mediums. That is interesting, because would have thought that he's going to go onto a set of hards and go to the end of this race, but that does not happened as it stands then, so he then should be looking up to end this race on a set of mediums, unless a safety car, unless something comes up, and he will pit onto a set of softs for the end, or he might normally come into the pit lane and pit onto a set of soft compound tires at the moment. So as it stands, 4 tenths between the two, or at this stands Mido and Devon. 4 tenths as it stands. The fight for 6th place should be on between these two. Mido in 6th, Devon in 7th. But the DRS zone coming up ahead. One of the only drivers, along with Macho and Freddy, within 1 second of each other in this race. Archie and VDR as well, but not close enough. Is there going to be an opportunity to go for it for Devon? No, he's not going to be close enough to be making that move. Drivers at the back will not be close as well. Meanwhile, Macho and Freddy will be, though. Macho overtook him into turn 1, and he gets that position to himself. Meanwhile, Freddy on those soft tires have done over 6 laps, so definitely they are going to be running out of grip, and he's losing out that position already. We could see that as we have it visible on our screens. Meanwhile, Babushka might have had a bit of an Babushka, of course, might have had an incident there as he's going to come into the pit lane now. Of course, 8 lap on those medium tyres. Will be time for them to pit now and go to the end of this race now to go on to a set of hards as it stands. Meanwhile, Archie and WeDR are going to be fighting each other here at the moment. Very close between these two, along with Devon and Mido. But this is interesting. This is interestingly job well done to Archie as it stands. The 5 tenths between the two. Is he going to be able to make that move? Definitely not into turn 1, but moving forward, another opportunity could come up their way. Meanwhile, these drivers are going to be together, and the fight is going to be on, and he's very close now. He might get ahead of him even before that DRS round the outside, and they're going to make contact, but no, that's going to be no effect between these two, as Artie's going to go round the outside now. They're going to be side by side still, but WeDR is going to have to back out there with no DRS and that extra speed and rear wing, along with some ERS on Archie's car. He's going to be through and ahead of WeDR. Job well done to him. In P8 to P7 he goes. For him to do the job done well. And P8 for WeDR. Archie at the moment as it stands. As WeDR in P9 at the moment as it stands. Now, drivers putting up once more. Now that's going to be the opportunity for WeDR to do it, and he's going to do it heading towards stand 1. It's just going to be deja vu, set up of positions. It was Archie earlier. It is WeDR once more, and these guys are absolutely giving it everything. I think WeDR is Oliver, if I'm not mistaken, and Special is... no, WeDR would be Ian, and Special would be Oliver, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, drivers having different names in the game and different in that championship. I believe the championship name should be as the game name as well, but of course I do know a couple of them though. Alvaro is Checo, Mido I believe in the championship is same as well, so is Tyron. Fino is same in as well. Michael is in the championship is Evil. Zerky in the championship is Brando, which is his real name, of course. So still Tyron has got Brando behind him, who's unable to unlap himself so far in this one. So lap 25 out of 35 at the moment, as Checo now in second place, over 23 seconds behind Tyron. 23, and Tyron's now nearly on a free pit stop to the end of this race. He might do that. He might pit right now, and I think Checo would need to pit as well. So it would almost be a pit stop ahead, free pit stop for Tyron. He won't be able to do the Grand Slam, which I believe is if you lead every single lap, which he hasn't, since he was overtaken by Fino at the race start, and he had to fight back and fight through it. And that tells you, had he not retired and had he not crashed at Zandvoort, the results would have been the same. I think Fino would have found it hard to win as well, but I think it's going to be nicely done by anybody. It would have to be these odd races, you know, the one at Zandvoort, that as soon as there's an opportunity, as soon as there is, you know, things to grab for you, you should do it. So, as Fino did there. I mean, he's going to try and drive fast. He's going to try and drive competitive, but, you know, you would have thought if he wouldn't have been able to win in Zandvoort, he was able to win, and capitalize on the mistakes of Tyron. Meanwhile, now Fino's going to be having that opportunity against D's, who's on 10-lap old hard tires with 10 newer brand new mediums on Fino's Red Bull, who's going to be up ahead though. It shouldn't be too long before we see the Red Bull get past the Ferrari. Rear wing is open on the Red Bull. He's going to move to the outside line. D's not going to defend that at all, and heading towards turn one. Overtake into one for Fino into that place, and that should be on. And now look at this one. Okay, Checo's now pitted as well, so that second place where it goes, where it belonged, and definitely that undercut on Checo has worked for Fino, and he's going to be into second place back again over 24 seconds behind Tyron, but I think that's just not going to be his way to fight at the moment. Unless a safety car, it's not going to be a lot that actually gives an opportunity to Fino to get closer to Tyron or on anything. I think Tyron, one last thing Tyron would want at the moment would be a safety car. Meanwhile, drivers at the back switching up positions. That is Brendo and Archie. Archie's pitted up. Brendo is on 7-up older hard tires, so he should be coming into the pit lane anytime soon. Or we might see him go to the end of it, because then 7 laps on these tires. It's going to be 8 laps at the end of this one, but he'll have over 8 laps to do, so over 16 laps on a set of these hard compound tires he'll have to do. Meanwhile, Brando D's has now lost out to Checo, who's on brand new medium compound tires. We should be seeing D's coming to the pit lane, and that was in a bit of a snap. Almost lost it there. Going from inside to the outside, a bit of a problem. Meanwhile, the bug is not fixed on D's car, on Michael's car there. Still with no front wing. And that's going to be interesting now. Michael might try and go for it down the inside line, heading towards the end of that first sector. They're going to be side by side. We saw drivers collide around here earlier. That's not going to be the case this time around. Smoothly and brilliantly done from Michael into 4th place. Job well done. And D's, I don't know what he's trying to do here. Does he want to go onto a set of soft tires to the end, or to a set of mediums? Or we might see him go on to a set of go on to the end of this race on these tires, which I believe will be very unlikely, because he's going to be absolutely out of grip and will not be able to easily go onto it at all. Meanwhile, Romero is retired. Romero and these guys have retired at the back. What about this one though? Look at this. And are we going to see these cars as the safety car is going to now come out, as they have crashed at the moment? And out of this one into turn one. Might have collided the two drivers, because Romero and Freddy, that was one of the overtaking zones into the end of that first sector in DR with the help of that DRS. So they might have been going side by side and crashed. And look at that. As we just said, the last thing Tyron right now would want a safety car would be a safety car, and that is a safety car indeed, and a brilliant opportunity for D's, who had not pitted earlier, is going to be going on to those soft tires and should be easy, making it to the end of this race. Devin is in the pits to go on to the set of medium softs as well, along with Mido and Macho. All these drivers who have done 4, 5, 6 laps on those mediums are coming into the pit lane now to fit on another set of hards. What about Tyron, who just pitted as well? So now this could be interesting. Sure, Tyron will have the speed, but will he have it in the remaining laps? With Fino right behind, along with other drivers as well. So this is surely all happening here at Brazil, here at Sao Paulo. Anyone can take the game now. Tyron's luck going on a bit downward from the previous race, crashing out now. A safety car with only a couple of laps remaining, but still Fino would have to capitalize on it. Fino would have to do the unbelievable to take that lead, to do the job that he has to do. He did it on the safety car, or he did it on the start though, but that was a standing start. Can he do it on a rolling start, which of course will be after the safety car? So we are yet to find things out, and surely we will be looking at things going forward in this one. Many drivers have pitted, and only driver actually now will be Tyron on a set of hard compound tire in this one. But interesting to see whether if there is any car in between Tyron and other drivers, and that will indeed be there will be Russo, and ahead of him will be Brendo. So 2 cars between the two. That is going to be the support of Tyrone there, because Fino won't be able to be exactly closer to Tyrone. It's interesting. Still over 20 seconds to Tyrone, so it'll be interesting to see whether the rest of the pack actually would be even able to get closer to Tyrone. But now they're catching up. Now they've caught up to the safety car, so it should be on, and we will be on for this one. Lap 30 out of 36. So possible lap 32 restart in my opinion. Safety car stays out on this lap, goes on in on the next lap. Of course, not many drivers have even caught up to the safety car pack. Only 4 drivers, with 3 drivers in which 2 are lapped here at under the safety car at Sao Paulo. The race is on. Who do you think is going to be winning? Do let us know. Do you think it's going to be Tyrone? Is it going to be Fino? Or is it going to be Checo? Anybody in the top 4 could have their game. Even special as well in P5. So in this race, we've had 2 retirements out of the 20 drivers. Romero and Freddy out in this one, which were the cause reason of the safety car restart. Tyrone leads from Fino ahead of Checo, Michael, Special, D's in P6. With Cutter Reeves, Widia, Devon and Edward completing the top 10. Just outside is Macho in P11, followed by Maidu, Archie, Brendo, Russo, DJ and the 2 Haas teammates, Cardes and Babushka in P6, 17 and 18 as it stands. So I'll let you guys listen to this noise of the safety of these cars behind the safety car for a little bit, and we'll pick up the action as soon as the safety car is into the pit lane. And we go racing here at Sao Paulo. Oh, that is interesting. So we actually have the video overview from the crash between Romero and Freddy, as this looks interesting. So Fred into the center S as they were going. They tried to go side by side, with Freddy trying to hang it on there, but of course the door was closing on him. He did not back out. He wanted to stay there, but then no, of course, no space given from Romero as well. He's trying to stay, but he was just trying to go back to the racing line and then pushed Freddy straight into the wall. But not sure what happened to him though, but he came back on the track as well, so that is interesting. But I think of course it is for the stewards to decide, not from us, that we can comment on anything. But the race is going to be on. This one's going to be fantastically open for this one. Just a couple of corners before the safety car is in, and we go racing once more. And that restart is going to be absolutely something you'll not want to miss and keep your eye on. So interesting, safety car might be staying out one more lap. No, it's not. It is going to be coming in this one. And there we go, Tyrants went for it already, as we're going to get that driver's safety car coming into this lap. The left cars are going to get out of the way, but Tafino might would have wanted to be very closer to Tyrone than he is. So surely that's going to be a very big advantage to Tyrone, the lap cars being in there. And that is, of course, the absolute beauty of his speed that has allowed the lap cars to be there and not allow Fino to be closer to him on that safety car restart. Meanwhile, Special is 4 tenths behind Michael at the moment. D's in P6 as it stands. Meanwhile, overtakes at the back as Edward might have lost out to Macho at the moment. That into P10. Macho fighting for those final points positions as it stands. Russo now in P15, only 5 tenths behind Brendo, but both of them are still behind Tyron and Fino unable to get together or get closer to the drivers. Meanwhile, both drivers gain positions as not sure what happened there, but Artie has retired out of this one. That has allowed everyone to gain positions. Meanwhile, where is his car though? We can't quite see where his car is. I think that got cleared up very soon and very early. We try moving left and right to save. Oh, this is a nice one. I did not knew. I did not. Had a look at this. So now Checo trying to get ahead of Tyron. That chapter might be over, but now the opportunity for Fino, for Checo to get ahead of him could be on the way. So surely that second place that should have been Fino's actually, with the help of that undercut before the safety car. That'll be in a bit of pressure as well, as Checo's not going to be coming back at him even before they get to that braking zone. Down the inside line is going to send it on the inside. Remember, they collided earlier on where Fino spun round because of that little slide mistake, going on the inside of Checo around the outside once more. For a moment you would have thought they're going to be side by side, but no, the top two are going at it. The top two are all out here to play for in this one. Meanwhile, the other Mercedes on Mido going at it along with Edward out there, and look at this in this stream. Not in the stream, but of course this little fight. Meanwhile, at the back, the two house drivers are still going. That is interesting. I mean, they're at least fighting each other, which is interesting. Like, surely they're not fighting others, but they're fighting each other. And now Fino is over 5 tenths behind Checo at this point. Does this DRS help him gain a couple of positions? Has he got enough laps to overtake? Has he got enough laps to get ahead of Fino once more? But that is interesting to see. Lap 34 out of 36 at the moment as it stands. Into tyres. Intermediate tyres. That is interesting, because even if there is some rain coming, I doubt that it'll be harder to drive on, because, you know, even if the rain is indeed coming, there is not enough laps to really pit on to a sort of intermediate tyres. Carter's has done that as well. I mean, unless it starts raining very heavily on this lap, it won't rain heavy enough for the drivers to need the intermediate tyres. Of course, we're not out on track, but at least can predict that they won't need intermediate tyres immediately when it starts raining. So it's an interesting choice from these bunch of drivers to say, maybe if we had a couple of more laps, we would have seen that, you know, maybe more positions going for more drivers putting onto a set of mediums, but sorry, instead of intermediates, but not at the moment. And looking at this one, Fino still unable to get past, still unable to get through, as we're going to look at the back of the grid with Coda Reeves in P8, Devon in P9, with Macho complete in the top 10. Just outside is Mido, Edward, and a couple of drivers are right. So lapped cars in there, as well as Russo's going to go on the inside line of Babushka. Meanwhile, what is Edward doing there? He goes down the inside line as well, so maybe trying to unlap himself at the moment as it stands, but that is an interesting choice for sure at the back. Meanwhile, again, this little fight is going to be interesting between the two at the top. We're going to be on at it as well. Russo gets another penalty. Meanwhile, Macho is going to be only 3 cents behind Devon out there. This little fight for the final points position is going to be on from WDR, Coda Reeves, Devon and Macho. It's going to be on the way. Fino's unable to get past Checo just about yet, as we are in lap 35 out of 36. Should be just having towards the final lap of the Grand Prix with our race leader just now, Tyron the man. He has taken pole position today. He's just actually didn't took pole, I believe, in Singapore it was, where Brando took pole position, but Brando was unable to win and unable to take that victory just about then. So the final lap, everything you have to fight for will have to be now. And Fino's done it quite right now. Down the inside line, he's going to send it this time around. It's going to be a proper move. And it doesn't need to be in that bit of issues or incidents that we would have thought he had earlier on the previous laps. Final lap, and that final opportunity to overtake might not be the last one though, because Checo could well very nicely come back at him, because we just don't know yet. But something could go wrong out here And next, oh, now the rain is coming. This is the rain that they pitted for. But of course, as I said, already on the final lap, they will not need to really go on for something that we would have thought. You would have thought that will be needed to pit, as now raindrops are dropping. But it is going to be Tyrone who's going to be dropping wins after wins. He did not. He could not. He DNF'd out of the previous race, but another one that he finishes, he wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. An absolute domination by over 7 seconds, and that is Fino in P2. A very good race for him as well. With Checo in P3 and Michael in P4, followed by D's in P5. Penalties applied. Special in P6 with BDR in P7. Absolute fantastic race from RB as a team then, with Devon in P8, Cutteridge in P9, followed by Macho in P10, completing out the final points scoring positions with Mido, Edward, DJ, Russo in P14, followed by Brendo in P15 and 16-17 to the two Haas drivers. Meanwhile, Cardes spun round on these intermediate tyres. Brendo got a 1 position, so now 3 drivers that we had out of this one were Archie, Romero and Freddy. But Tyrone once more continuing his dominance and is going to extend his championship lead even more, and he's carrying the championship for Williams in this championship throughout on his own. So these are your results from the drivers standing all standing once more before the end of this one. We're just going to give you guys an overview of it, so you guys can have a look at it. But it's absolutely brilliant. I was hearing somebody in that. That is your way, ladies and gentlemen. But that is, of course, not live. That is before this race. Now that podium is going to be there, and one man is going to be the same. And look at this one then. Fastest lap race win to Tyrone. Then it's WDR, all WDR, driver of the day, most overtakes, and cleanest driver as well. And let's have a look at the results once more. Tyrone wins by a mile and takes victory here at the Brazilian GP. Fino in P2, Checo in P3, followed by Michael. A good race for him as well. P4 with D's in P5, followed by Special and BTR in P6 and 7 for RB, with Devon getting some points for Alpine in P8, with Cutteridge and Macho completing the top 10. Just outside were Midu, Edward, DJ, Russo and Brendo, along with the two Haas drivers, Babushka and Cardes, with 3 drivers in the end who did not finish this race, Archie, Romero and Freddy. So that is it then, ladies and gentlemen, for the weekend here at the Brazilian Grand Prix. Hope you all watching absolutely enjoyed it. Once more, it was a fantastic, it was a nice race to say the least, and once more it was myself, Zabi, to bringing you all the action out here from this amazing New Age Championship. It has been a fantastic championship so far in terms of attendance, in terms of driving, racing standards have been decent as well. Surely sometimes, you know, here and there incidents would happen, but that is just racing. You can't go without them anywhere. So that is it then, ladies and gentlemen. That was myself, Zabi. Hope you all watching enjoyed it, and from all of us here at the Brazilian GP, and from all of us here at New Age Championship, adios.